And tonight we have Reverend Alan McBride, who is the lead pastor at Shalimar United Methodist Church. And then following his invocation, Superintendent Chambers will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. So we'll go ahead and call this meeting into session at this time. So, of course, first order of business is to go through changes to the agenda, and I have just a couple here. Recognitions, deleted recognition of Baker Girls Volleyball Team 2023 1A Florida High Athletic Association State Champions, presented by Superintendent Chambers, and my understanding is that we'll bring them back another time. Is that right?
Absolutely, just due to the weather, not wanting them to travel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, very good. Thank you. And then for the public hearing, that has been deleted. That would be the public hearing for the adoption of Resolution 24-01, approving the proposed real estate exchange agreement between the School Board of Okaloosa and Ruckle Properties and surplusing the school board property located on Lancaster Drive. Now, I'm going to leave that item on the agenda.
I'm here for the public. Thank you.
Okay, we're not there yet, but we will be.
Okay.
All right. And so we'll leave this item on the agenda, but my understanding, Mr. McInnes, is that we were going to reschedule.
Yes,
Is
sir,
that
the
correct?
public hearing needs to be rescheduled on that matter.
All right, the public hearing needs to be rescheduled on that matter. So we'll take that up just shortly here.
Will you tell me when it's going to be rescheduled?
Well, we haven't determined that because we haven't yet arrived at that item. But yes, sir, we'll talk about that shortly. Mr. McInnes, do you have anything else you want to add since he's here?
We know that it will either be at the next school board meeting or the first meeting in February. They're working on an addendum to that contract, and it just matters if we get it in time to get it on the next agenda. So
Thank you very
one of the
much.
next two meetings, it'll be.
Thank you very much, sir.
So I'm sorry. Yes, sir, I'm sorry you came tonight, and we've had to change it because they're not done with all the legalities.
For the record, I called the number that was in the public notice and was told by Lori that it would begin this evening. And that was about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Well, I know that we had made announcements regarding school activities, but that we were going to hold this. However, this morning at the workshop, we did discuss the fact that it was going to be rescheduled. So I'm sorry that you were given incorrect information.
I'll stay for a couple minutes, thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I appreciate my interruption. I appreciate you accounting for my interruption.
Yes, sir, I understand. All right, so anyway, so that takes us through the changes, and so I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Ivanchek, second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? There being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So skipping past 3.1 is that item's deleted. Moving to Section 4, Administrative Personnel Appointments. Now, folks, I'm going to go fast because of the weather, as we've already determined. All right. 4.1, Appointment of the Principal of Mary Esther Elementary School, recommended by the Superintendent for approval. Mr. Chambers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And bear with me 1 second if you don't mind.
All right. And if we get wet.
All right. And I bring before the school board Ms. Dawn Johnson as the principal of Mary Esther Elementary.
All right. So we have a recommendation by the superintendent. We need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
I'll second it.
second by Ms. Evancheck. Now, of course, folks, you all know that normally we would have an entourage and we would recognize and do all the wonderful things that we do, but we're not doing that tonight because we're trying to move things forward. So we have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? There being no discussion, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, 4.2, appointment of Principal Lewis School recommended by the superintendent for approval. Mr. Chambers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I bring before you Dr. Nathaniel Chapman for the principal of Lewis School.
All right, so we have a recommendation by the superintendent. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Dr. Kelly,
And I'll second it.
second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? There being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. All right, that brings us down to public comment, 5.1. Miss Mary, do we have any cards tonight? Okay, and that's not for the public hearing. That's for general, okay?
Yes, sir, it's general.
Okay, please come forward.
My name is H.H. Caldwell of 1743 18th Street.
All right, yes, sir,
ju-
normally, and I'll ask you to fill a card out
I'm
so
sorry?
that you can do, not right now,
Okay.
but when you finish. And we'll give that to the secretary.
The maternal side of my family has a long history in the education business. When I went to school, we used the Harbrace Handbook. If that means anything to any of y'all. And first thing I saw when I walked in, please stand here to talk. I believe the correct grammar would be, please stand here to speak. When I
Okay.
walk into a school board meeting and I see that, I'm unhappy.
Well, we'll have to refer that to our English department. I only have a minor.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'll fill this out and back up.
All right, so, anything else? No, we don't have any more cards, right? All right. All right, Section 6, Committee and Staff Reports. In-county travel paid for November. Those were covered at the workshop. Section 6.2, out-of-county travel paid. Those were covered at the workshop as well. All right, consent agenda. 7.1 is the approval of the consent agenda. I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr.
I'll
Bryant.
second.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? There being none, let's call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. All right, let's slide on down now to Section 8, Superintendent's Information, Human Resources Recommendations. 8.1, Information only. 8.2, Information only. 8.3, Employment Separations. I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant.
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? There being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 8.4 Personnel Recommendations presented by Dr. Hale. I need a motion.
I'll move it.
That was
sorry.
close. I'm
Go
going to give it to
ahead.
Dr. Kelly because I think it was contested last time as well. All right, and then the second will go to Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? All right, there being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 8.5 Employment Transfers presented by Dr. Hale.
Okay, I'll take this one.
All right, motion by Ms. Evancheck.
I'll second.
Second by Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? All right, there being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, 8.6, Employees Suspension, presented by Dr. Hale.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant.
I'll second.
Second by Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? There being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, 8.7, Employee Suspension, presented by Dr. Hale. Need a motion.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Evancheck.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
8.8, Leave Without Pay, presented by Dr. Hale.
I'll move it.
Motion by Dr. Kelly.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? Since there's none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. No items on the discussion agenda. Section 10, Status Report. Dr. Kelly, I think you were going to give that the next workshop, if
That's
I
correct.
remember.
And I have given you all a handout, so
Okay.
you have that at your desk.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right, 10.2, Funding and Owner Direct Purchase, ODP, for Central Administration Building Phase 1 Furniture for the GMP phase of Task Order Number 24, presented by Dr. Smith. Need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr.
I'll
Bryant,
second it.
second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries 4-0. 10.3, TPM Program number 6, task order number 12, scope mod number 2, cafeteria renovations repurposed, presented by Dr. Smith. Need a motion.
So moved again.
Motion by Mr. Bryant.
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Mr. Attorney, any business?
No report tonight.
All right, Superintendent, you gave us a lengthy report today. Do you have anything else tonight, sir?
No, I appreciate it, other than, as you know, this meeting is being expedited due to the weather that is coming upon us, and we went over the information that we put out to our families, to the community today. And as you know, we will not have school tomorrow or after-school activities, but just appreciate us taking the stance, and even tonight, thinking about our employees and keeping everybody safe.
Yes, sir, and I know from the workshop, and the public may not know if they didn't see the workshop today, that you have worked closely with management within the county, and the decisions that you made are in consort with them and other school districts in the area. I saw on TV tonight that there were many districts that have canceled today, so.
Most of the Panhandle.
Yes, sir. So thank you for that safety of our students. Okay. All right, thank you, sir. All right, board members, we're going to dispense with this tonight unless someone has a pressing matter that they really want to discuss. Okay. All right, very good. And that takes us down to 14.1, general public comment. This will be the yellow card. Miss Mary, we don't have any of those. Okay. And then we're a little bit early on the public hearings. What do we do, Mr. McInnes?
Just recess for a couple of minutes. And
Okay, all right, then we'll just recess until 6:15, about 2 minutes. call us back into session at 6:15, and we'll go ahead and proceed with the public hearings as advertised. 15.1, public hearing for the adoption of revised School Board Policy 03-05, procedure for handling criticism of library books or educational material, presented by Ms. Bates, District Media Specialist. So, at this point, do we have anyone here tonight to speak to item 15.1? Seeing none, any comment from the board?
I do. I appreciate
Okay.
Ms. Bates being here tonight, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Bates. Thank you, Mr. Bryan. All right, since there's no discussion, this is an action item, so I need a motion.
So
I move it. Oh,
Second.
you
I'll
got
give
it.
it to Ms. Vancheck.
All right, motion by Ms. Vancheck, second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? Since there's none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. All right, 15.2 is deleted as per our discussions this morning and our discussions with Mr. McInnes. However, you wanted, I understood that we needed to make a motion to
Yes, sir.
reschedule, is that
Direction for
correct?
Authorization from the board to reschedule the public hearing as soon as that addendum is completed.
All right, folks, you've heard from the attorney, so I need a motion.
I'll move it.
Motion by Dr. Kelly,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? I have one question. So what will happen? Will you notify us, or will it just be on the agenda, or how will that work?
We certainly will notify you, and it will also be on the agenda, and we will actually run another public notice of the rescheduled date for the public hearing.
Okay, all right. And we anticipate that we may have some idea.
If the addendum is ready by Thursday of this week, because the agenda is being done this Thursday because
sir.
of the holiday.
Right.
Then it will make the January 22nd meeting.
Okay,
If it's not ready by Thursday, then it will make the first meeting in February.
okay, all right. Colleagues, y'all got all that? So, all right, so then I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
I'll second it.
second by Ms. Vancheck. Any further discussion? There being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, 15.3, public hearing for the adoption of Resolution 24-02, approving the proposed contract for purchase and sale agreement between the School Board of Okaloosa and Ruckle Properties for a parcel of real property located on Palm Boulevard North, Niceville, Florida, presented by Dr. Smith. So this is the public hearing for this piece of property. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Yes, sir. I know you've already filled out a card for us.
I didn't fill out a yellow one, sir.
That's okay.
Okay.
We've got it now because we know you're here for this. and-
I would
So,
like to
so
see.
stand by for a second. Would you go over the quick rules here, Mr. McInnes? So
Yes,
that
sir.
you'll know the time frames and all that stuff?
Yep. You will be allowed 3 minutes for your presentation, and we would ask that you be recognized by the chairman and direct your questions to the chairman. Also, we would ask that your concerns be related to educational issues here in the district, and personal attacks against officers or personnel should be excluded from your presentation. And items, if they pertain to personnel, would be under the superintendent's authority, and typically those are handled by his office, not by the board here in this meeting.
Understand.
Thank you.
All right, sir.
I would like to see the alternatives to purchasing this piece of property. What could we have done with this money other than purchase this piece of property? This looks like a sole source justification document, where it's going to be done by one person with one operation. What were the alternatives explored? That's what I would like to see for this property and the other property that's not on the agenda this evening.
Well, normally, those are not the kinds of questions that the school board would hear. Those would be things or items that, in your case, since you're bringing forward the question, that you would have already explored with the school district. You would have asked the superintendent and his staff, because we're not in possession of any such documents or any such alternatives.
So you didn't review any alternatives presented to you by the school
We
district?
received the recommendation of the superintendent. Okay?
You got a recommendation.
Dr.
and
White.
You didn't, you got a recommendation. You didn't review alternatives as a board.
We received the recommendation, yeah. And Mr. Chambers, do you have something that you'd like to
No,
add?
absolutely. First of all, appreciate you being here. And as the board remembers, the last school board meeting, I believe it was the last one, we had Mr. Horton come forward and and share information on land across the school district. And anytime that we can find land that's adjacent to or right within the proximity of our schools, that's something that we're interested in. The parcel that we're talking about right now on item 15.3, if this is approved by the board, this is something that would give us flexibility in the Niceville area in terms of capacity. As you might know, in the Niceville area, Niceville High School in Ruckle, the amount of land that is there is not necessarily as large as maybe some other areas. So this particular piece would give us the flexibility if the time came to look at an 8th grade wing or a 9th grade wing or even an 8th and 9th grade wing. So it'd give us the ability to increase capacity at Niceville High School as well as Ruckle. So always think into the future, how can we make sure that we're prepared for growth that can come, whether it's 5 years from now, 2 years from now, or even 10 years from now. The other property, I'm not sure with it being removed right now, if it's appropriate to
Right.
speak.
Well, should this gentleman have asked to speak on that item, I would have asked no, that we speak to it in the actual advertised public hearing, because that item has been deleted. But to support what the superintendent is saying, if on this agenda itself, we have the motion from the superintendent to make this transaction.
Okay, so the school board evaluated this proposal in terms of alternatives, how much it was going to cost, how much it's going to cost in the future, how much taxable value would be removed from the tax rolls in Okaloosa County by the school district taking this. I'm sure you all can, I want you all to look at me and go, yes, we did.
I'm not sure what alternatives you mean, sir.
Could we have bought another piece of property? Could we have bought and condemned another property? Why did we pick this particular one? What were the alternatives proposed? That was what I'm asking.
Okay, well, the superintendent explained, we look for things as close as we can
Adjacent.
in proximity.
Right.
And so this one piece here is, this is what we're trying to do, is get it close to where we already have schools, so that we can, if we need to expand, obviously we can't expand 3 miles down the road, we need it close. So with this opportunity, with this property coming available, it seemed like the appropriate thing to go ahead and purchase this now that we have an opportunity to do so.
Okay. Is the enrollment at Niceville High School going up or down, sir?
Right now, it's consistent.
Do you anticipate, I'm sure you've done some demographics, do you anticipate more students at the Niceville High School complex?
So as you
And how
go-
many? And how many do you do? Is it because of Eglin's growth, because of local economy? How do you know?
So one of the things we do is we do projections. So as you might know, Deer Moss Creek is an area that is building, but is going to be like, we're going to have 100 kids, 200 kids, 300 kids next year.
I'm sorry, Deer Moss Creek, 300 kids?
That's not what I said. I said
And
Deer.
this is all is on video, and our previous discussions
Yes, sir.
regarding this particular piece of property that the superintendent already spoke about is also on video. That certainly we've put it out there. It's free access. You can look at it anytime you like.
Okay. I'll take that to heart, sir. What I do, I'm that guy that reads the public notices in the newspaper.
Okay, good.
And that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
So I expected to hear about discussion and what had happened before it got to be the public. So
Right.
I did
Well,
not know,
that's-
as soon as I saw the
again-
newspaper article, I should have
see.
said,
Well, that's all on video. It's all there, listed by the agenda. In fact, it's listed by this particular item, and if you go to okaloosaschools.com, it'll be out there on the school board link.
understand. Unfortunately, I believe we're getting to a point in our society where ordinary citizens like myself, I have to go to websites to find out what's going on with me.
Tell me.
And as the daily news goes away, it's going to be even worse, because now I have to go to something for Eglin, I have to go to something to the school district, I have to go to something to the Okaloosa school district, school district, county commissioners. It's very difficult to know what's going on. And then,
I know.
okay,
We have the same problem.
okay.
Those of us that are trying to.
Well,
stay
and as it
informed.
pertains to this particular topic, so Dr. White is exactly correct. So we do have a website where you can go see that, but you can also set up a time where get you with staff and can have a one-on-one conversation and answer any of the questions that you like.
In full disclosure, I would literally like to find out more about the Okaloosa County School District Leasing Corporation, but that's not for this discussion. I'm interested in that. I've seen a couple of things go by for that in the public
Yes,
notice.
sir, there are.
Thank y'all.
And
Have a
that's
nice evening.
That's a lengthy topic, and.
I've used up my
again-
3 minutes. We need to get
again,
home before the rain gets here.
You can speak with the superintendent about some information about that.
Okay, thank y'all.
Okay,
Have a nice
yes, sir.
evening.
All right, thank you. All right, colleagues, so we're done with the public hearing portion of this, and so now we need a motion to adopt the resolution. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
A second.
second by Dr. Kelly. Any further discussion? Seeing none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. All right, that takes us through our public notices. Mr. McKinnis, the best I can tell, we're finished unless there's other business. Mr. Chambers, do you have anything, sir?
That is it.
All right, staff, anything? We're done. Meeting adjourned.
Be safe.